I'll call this reorganization and special meeting of the Hopewell Borough Council to order. Reggie, if you could do the sunshine statement.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by a notice mailed to the Hopewell Valley News and the Trenton Times, posted on the bulletin board in Borough Hall, and filed with the Borough Clerk as required by law.
All right, join me in the flag salute if you're able. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So I want to thank everyone for coming this evening. For those who are regulars to our council meeting, this is both our reorganization meeting and our regular meeting. It will be my honor in a second to swear in Krista Weaver on her re-election to council and Paul Buda on his election to council. And I first also want to thank, we have some dignitaries here. I want to thank Trenton Councilwoman Teska Frisbee for joining us. On behalf of Verlina Reynolds Jackson, our Assemblywoman, I want to thank Ed Gittens for being here tonight as well. Much appreciated for all you guys do for us and for joining us here. As I always joke, way up in Siberia, it's just so far away from everything else in Minnesota County. So appreciated you joining us here this evening. With that, I'd ask Chris to join me up front with your family.
And I told a bunch of people, but I told my daughter she could wear what she wanted tonight, and obviously she chose white.
Where's your chair here? Just maybe, yeah, just step aside for a second, and then that way, because we'll be on camera. So why don't you, if you want to stand kind of in front of the flag, kind of facing out that way, and yes, exactly that way. Those watching at home or on video can see as well. Right on the side. Yeah, that is perfect. So, Councilwoman Weaver, if you could repeat after me. I, Krista Weaver,
I, Krista Weaver,
do solemnly affirm
that
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
I do further solemnly affirm
I do further solemnly affirm
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of the office I'm about to enter.
of the office I'm about to enter.
Congratulations and thank you. Well done, guys. We have some excellent helpers here. So I would next like to invite Councilman-elect Paul Buda and his family up to the front as well. You could, yeah, kind of, what's the word? Kind of open up that way so you can kind of maybe stand a little closer to the flag, and then looking out this way, the camera will get us as well, and we'll be presenting to the public here. So if you could repeat after me and put your hand on the Bible if you'd like. Put your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand. I, Paul Buda, do solemnly swear
that
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and I will bear true faith
and I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same,
and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state,
and this state,
under the authority of the people.
the authority of the people.
I further do solemnly swear
I further do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties of the office I'm about to enter.
perform all the duties of the office I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you and congratulations. Worked it many times. Come on up to that. If we could now, for the first time officially for 2026, do our roll call.
Mayor Kennedy,
Here.
Mr. Buda,
Here,
Mr. Fuller,
Yeah.
Ms. Hook, here, Ms. Steeler, here, Ms. Weaver, here, Ms. Melandis.
Here. Next, as we do every year, I'll take nominations for the office of council president. For those of you who are not familiar, this office has the role of perhaps running a meeting when the mayor is not here. This, I don't know if it ever happened, but I guess technically could perform an emergency wedding in my absence as well. But I'll say, Mayor Jeff Martin from Hamilton, there is a months-long backlog to do weddings there, not so much in Hopewell Borough. So if you're watching at home, I've done a few, but certainly we're welcome to there. We've talked with the members about doing this this evening, so I'm going to take nominations. Each will have a first and a second if there are more than one. And when there are no more nominations, we'll do a roll call vote. We'll take nominations for the role of council president for the year 2026.
I have one. Based on her years of experience and literally tireless dedication to this body and to this town, I proudly nominate Deb Steeler for role of council president.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I would like to second the nomination of Deb Steeler for council president. With her devotion to her position on council and constant motivation to learn more, I think she'll be a great fit.
Do we have other nominations?
I nominate Anthony Fuller. I appreciate his clear head, his objective perspective, and I think he will make an excellent council president.
Do we have a second? So seeing none and with appreciation for both people nominated, I will, there be no other nominations, seek to close the nomination. And since there is just one that has been first and seconded, I will first confirm those nominated. Would you be willing to perform the duty?
Yes, thank you.
Anthony, would you, if you were first and second?
Yes.
All right, thank you. And again, much appreciated. There's so many people who do such great work here. And much appreciated the efforts of everyone. So with that, I guess I'll take a, unless I'm missing anything on a Robert's order perspective, thank you. This is a slightly different process than we have looked at in the past. So with that, I will take, I guess we could do a voice vote if there's just one. Is that by definition?
You had a first and a second, I don't think you need that, but I can do that if you want.
You should do a vote for the record, just.
Okay, then we'll do that. Feel free to call the vote.
Mr. Buda,
or
Mr. Fuller,
No.
Ms. Hook,
Yes.
Ms. Steeler,
Yes.
Ms. Weaver,
Yes.
Ms. Melandis.
No,
Thank you so much, everyone. Congratulations. I think also thank you for your interest in further service. With that, we have a bunch of consent information here, but since we have some, particularly some dignitaries that we recognize, I want to open up the meeting to the public. First, there will be 3 opportunities to speak this evening on that. No one has to limit anything, but we do have a short consent agenda after this for our reorganization part of the meeting, then another public comment where we also have a 5-minute opportunity. So I want to particularly open up first, though, for those who are traveling, who might have something to say for our reorganization. So with that, I will open the meeting to the public. If you're in person, please come up to the front. And I'll ask that maybe Ethan let someone move the our lectern back towards the center. And if you're on Zoom, feel free to push the raise hiring button. Our administrator is watching through there and we'll recognize you there. So noting that this is just the first of 3 opportunities, I will take a motion to close the first public comment section to the public.
I'll move.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? With that, I want to just briefly wish everyone a happy new year. I want to thank everyone for being here tonight, particularly those who traveled. I really want to thank those both up here and on your side of the dais, and on Zoom for all of those who serve our community. We have with us this evening, Councilman Dave Mackey, and I want to express my sincere thanks for your years of service to this borough. I know there's been some, we know you're not going anywhere, and we will definitely take advantage of your kindness in continuing to help us with your vast institutional knowledge. And I just want to express again my thanks to your years and years of service. As we look to 2026, I know that it brings to an end a year that was challenging for many of us. This community tackled many challenging issues between redevelopment, our water system, and there is more to come. And I could not say, no matter what side of any of these issues are, you were or are or continue to be, how proud I am to be part of this community, how honored I am to have participation. Again, whether it's you agree with me or anyone else up here, that is what makes this community go. And it is our goal, and I know I speak for everyone up here, that more engagement is what we are looking for. I'm looking at those here, I'm sure those online. We want to create as many opportunities for that as we possibly can. That is our goal, and we have continue to have challenging things for our community to understand and to address going forward. And everything we've learned these past few years about how to get people's attention, how to get information out, we're going to continue to do that. And we're going to continue to do it better. And every time we do something and are unsuccessful, and when I say unsuccessful, not that it was voted down, I mean unsuccessful in that we didn't get the word out, or unsuccessful we did not engage as many as we could have, we will learn from that and engage more and talk more. And yes, listen more. So again, I am so appreciative for all the volunteers, whether you're on one of our committees, whether you're on one of our boards, whether you do work for a nonprofit, or whether you were involved yourself in one of these processes this last year or before. We want that. We need that. Everything that we can to create more opportunities for that in every possible way that people are comfortable. Not everyone likes to come to meetings. Not everyone is comfortable in every scenario. Doesn't mean your ideas are not just as valid as anyone up here or who is comfortable. So we will continue to pull out all the stops. And if there's a different way to communicate, a different way to engage, please let me know, because that is what we want to do. And that Hoot tells me that one of the ways that we better is the perhaps better vendor presume. Actually, watching online, apologies, you might have heard part of that, and then our administrator's face when it switched back to his team. But apologies for that online. But with thanks to everyone in this room, online, and who's involved in Hopewell Borough. So I want to briefly pass the speaking opportunity briefly to our newly elected or re-elected candidates and to Council President Steeler. If you want to say a few words first, and then I'll have Krista and Paul have a brief opportunity.
Mayor and Councilwoman, before you speak, the OWL camera is not connected. The audio is working fine. The video is off, unless they want to just stare at me, which I doubt they want to do. But well, then we may lose.
We need a motion.
Robert's rule of electrical it'll take a second, so it's clearly disturbing eyes of telling us that. So apologies for the delay here in the room, and also apologies if you're on Zoom. We're doing our best to get this back on. Expect it'll be back in a second.
It's not coming up. Yeah.
So you might have to switch the source back from your webcam to the owl.
There we go.
The hoot tells me that we're back on. So again, you're online and couldn't hear us before. Apologies. We paused while the camera was offline, and we should be. So with that, Dr. Steele, if you want to say a few words.
Yes, thank you. Hi, I was just gonna say, I think I speak for everyone on council when I say that we're all looking forward to another year of Krista's leadership, moving safety in the borough forward. Chief, I'm also very happy to welcome Paul Buda to council, where I know we will see great things from him. So welcome to you both and thank you for your service.
We're out again there. Just.
We are back here again, watching on Zoom. Apologies. Hopefully we've switched to a different backup computer. Hopefully that will do things more successfully for the rest of the. With that, Councilwoman Weaver, if you would like to say a few words on your election, thank you.
Sure. Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to say thank you to everyone for giving me the opportunity to serve a second term here. I met with Jerry a few weeks ago. We discussed some of our priorities for the coming year, and I'm really excited to see what else we can do to improve pedestrian and bike safety here in the borough. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations again on your election. Mr. Buda, welcome. I know you're no stranger to service here in town, but welcome to the side of the board. And would you like to say a few words?
Sure. So years ago, I served on the planning board, about 10 years, and really found that very fulfilling. And now I'm back in a new way, and I'm very excited to be working with everyone here, and making Hopewell the best place it can be. Thank you.
Thank you. And I will say for you, those of you watching at home, say the AI on our camera is really doing a number tonight. So there's a lot of panning and zooming, and apologies for that. So our next couple items are consent motions. I have some additions to item 10, but if we could, unless there's any questions or rules, take a motion for item 9 to approve resolutions 2026-01 to 2026-24. Deb, do we have a second?
Second.
Hi, thank you.
Mr. Buda,
Yes.
Mr. Fuller,
Yes.
Ms. Hook,
Yes.
Ms. Steele, yes, Ms. Weaver,
Yes.
Ms. Williams.
Yes.
I will next take a motion on item 10 to confirm my appointments of A through Q. I'll ask them to be an amended motion. Item O should also include Allison Baxter, the chair of our HPC, to be our class 2 planning board member. And item M, the Library Board of Trustees, Patty Lieberman, to have a 5-year term expiring 12/31/20. So with those new additions, I would take a motion on item 10. Do I have a second?
Yes.
Guess all.
Mr.
I'm sorry.
Mr. Buda?
Yes.
Mr. Fuller?
Yes.
Ms. Hook?
Yes.
Ms. Steeler?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Weaver?
Yes.
That's just, you can, that's on
Change
your.
it. You're paying attention.
So here. Okay, next item as we go, thank you, that kind of concludes the reorganization part of our meeting. With that, we'll go to our regular meeting. And as we will continue to do, provide an update on the sale of our water system. There's not much of an update since last month. Tonight, we have a first reading of an ordinance that will essentially is the next step towards the final regulatory approval. The public hearing on that will be in February. We still expect the sale to be completed in the June timeframe at this point. And there'll be lots more information on that to come. I'll also note, as we had talked about last year, in the coming weeks, we will start putting together our outreach initiative to continue and to gather information and community input on essentially what we will be doing, not with the proceeds, but with the benefits of the debt defeasance that are coming up perhaps at the end of this year, whether it be tax relief or capital improvements. We'll very much looking to cast a wide net to understand what this community is looking for with the results from the sale. I'm noting that this is the first time ever, I'm looking at former Councilman Mackey, that I'm not looking to my left and saying, asking if he has anything else to add to that. That will be challenging not to continue to do that. With that though, I will open up the meeting to the public for the second of 3 times. The first one, we'd like to try to limit you to 5 minutes if possible. Though we haven't been had a heavy hand on that in the past. For people in person to come up to the front, and then if you're on Zoom, we'll move you over and ask you to introduce yourself that way. What?
Quiet. I mean, it's just, no, I just wanted to congratulate Krista on her reelection, congratulate Paul on his election, and Deb on being council president. Thank you. Taking a turn in the barrel, as I like to call it. No, but really, thank you all for stepping up, and all the rest of you. That's what makes all this work, is people continuing to contribute, and it's a wonderful thing. I'm going to tell a story which may sound like it doesn't fit this at all, but I think it does. So when Mary and I were married, the minister who married us, his name was Carl Reimers, died a few years back. He always wanted to include something in the wedding ceremony. There was a question that was posed to everyone there as to whether they would support the couple in their marriage. And it was a very interesting thing. He explained this to us. He said, well, when a marriage is under strain, sometimes people tend to pull people apart, and they'll be like, oh, I always told you that guy was no good. But what you really want them to do is be pushing it back together. So here's where this relates to council. All of you and all the people who volunteer here are serving this community. And I think it's important for other people in the community to support you, to just, not necessarily to agree with you, but just to think about what they can do to help all of you do their jobs. So I love that concept. I think it applies here, and I hope that everybody in the community will do that. Because it's a lot of work, it's a lot of time. People don't always realize what happens behind the scenes, how much effort it takes. And I think of the people who do it, the other people who volunteer in the community. But to the extent, you think about it and you're out here, think about what you might be able to do to help. An idea, a suggestion, something. Support these folks because they're working really hard for them. So anyway, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you so much.
Good day.
Here.
So just a reminder, if you're online, push the raise hand button. Not seeing any, and we'll have a third opportunity event. I'll take a motion to close the second of 3 this evening. Public comment sections. Second, all in favor? Thank you. Next, we have in our packets a report from the Director of Public Works and Water and Sewer. If anyone has any questions or comments for administrator, now will be the time. Next, item 5, we've got minutes from the December 4th regular and closed session meetings with our new councilman Paul Buda. I'll just make it easy abstaining because he wasn't at the meeting. Because it was Councilwoman's Leader's birthday. Jill can abstain as well. So I'll take a motion to approve those 2 minutes, recognizing the importance of the birthday.
I'll take a motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Fuller,
Yes.
Ms. Hook,
Yeah.
Ms. Steeler,
Yes.
Ms. Williams.
Yes.
What's wrong with a birthday?
No,
Husband took me out to dinner. It was lovely.
next item 6 is our one ordinance. This is first reading of ordinance 908. Reggie, if you could read it by title.
An ordinance of the Borough of Hopewell, Mercer County, granting municipal consent to New Jersey American Water Company, Inc. to provide water service and the construction, expansion, and maintenance of water facilities in the public right of way in Borough of Hopewell in order to furnish water service within the boundaries of the borough.
Thank you, Reggie. So my attempted explanation is that the contract that was authorized to be signed by the borough in November by resolution, council authorized that, and it was signed. And one of the next steps is this ordinance, which is part of the process to ask and receive the approval of I believe it's the Board of Public Utilities approval for New Jersey American, not just to purchase the assets of our system, but to become the provider for our franchise area. Jared, close enough? Is that right? Good. All right. This will have a public hearing and opportunity for comments at our February meeting. So with that, I'll take a motion to introduce on first reading ordinance 908. I'll move. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Buda,
Yes.
Mr. Fuller,
Yes.
Ms. Hook,
Yes.
Ms. Steeler,
Yes.
Ms. Weaver,
Yes.
Ms. Williams.
Yes.
A lot of consent agenda tonight with reorg, but only 2 items on our regular meeting consent agenda. I'll note the first one, we have been participating in a group of municipalities on a stormwater project led by the watershed and with the lead municipality being Montgomery Township. We approved that by resolution to enter into a shared service agreement in December. Though it turns out it's actually gonna be more of a cost savings than we thought. So we had authorized an amount of money to spend on it, which was actually gonna be a cost savings compared to what we would need to do if we went it alone. It turns out that the budget was reduced. So this is the same item that we approved in December, but with a smaller financial authorization. I believe it's less than $6,000 down from closer to 10. So I want to thank everyone at the watershed, Montgomery, and all the towns participating in this to get the cost down for this project. It's another one of the examples of what happens when you work with our neighbors, which is always good. The item 26, I believe, is administrative. Jared, anything you want to add on the what we have to do for bond anticipation notes for 2026?
Sure, this is for the $95,000. You're just accepting the certificate of determination is you approving the terms and conditions that were sought from the finance office. And she feels comfortable with the rates and the terms and conditions that she got. As a CFO, yes.
Thank you. So there's any other questions or comments? I'll take a motion for resolution 2026-25 through 2026-26.
I'll second.
Who was second, sorry?
Deb second.
Mr. Buda?
Yes.
Mr. Fuller?
Yes.
Ms. Hook?
Yes.
Ms. Steeler?
Yes.
Ms. Weaver?
Yes.
Ms. Lennox?
Yes.
Okay, next, we have a packet of claims for payment. I'll take a motion to approve these.
I'll move.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Buda?
Yes.
Mr. Fuller?
Yes.
Ms. Hook?
Yes.
Ms. Steeler?
Yes.
Ms. Weaver? Ms. Lennox?
Yes.
So next we have our council liaison reports. I'll make this super easy. And start with Paul because he has just started and has no committee responsibilities to speak of just yet. It's an honor that Anthony most recently had to deal with for a year, but you'll be first perhaps going forward, and I'm looking forward to your work on committees as we go forward. So, but if you have anything to add or say, you're welcome to now.
About the particular,
Yeah, I said it tongue in cheek. Yeah, this is the ultimately this part of the meeting. You know, if for example, you know, you had attended a planning board meeting last month. This would be the time to kind of report out what happened. Obviously,
right,
you didn't have those responsibilities, so nothing to report.
I'm looking forward to this year.
You know, we're kind of trying to go the foil method, go like outside in. So how do you want to?
So the Valley-wide Green Team has skipped December, but we will be meeting next week. The Borough Green Team did meet. We set our potluck dates for next year as February 15th, April 19th, and October 18th, all at the train station, and I will get those to the rec committee for the calendar. We are continuing our Trex collection next year, which is our plastic foam collection, and our next meeting is Wednesday at 7 p.m. at the Hopewell Public Library, and all are welcome to join us. Open space, we met, we have nothing to report from public session, but it was a good meeting. And not an official committee, but I often mention Downtown Hopewell, which I am also a part of. They had a very successful Hopewell Holiday Lane event. It was sort of a local merchant friendly version of Reindeer Lane. So I want to give thanks to Jill at Borough Neuro and Bailey at Twine for really doing a great job. It was great for the merchants, and I think the kids had a lot of fun too. So, yeah.
Thank you. Anthony?
Yeah, so unfortunately, the Board of Health has not met recently, so I don't have specific updates. I know that the town looks forward to hearing about vaccine clinics that happened 3 weeks ago. I unfortunately can't give you those updates tonight, but hopefully we'll continue to do that. The next Board of Health meeting is, I think, end of January, and we'll reorganize at that point, so we'll have updates next month.
Thank you. Sharon?
The senior advisory board did not meet this month, and I'm sad to turn it over to you because it's such a wonderful group, but you'll enjoy those meetings. The EDC postponed their meeting till this month. Looking at you, Ethan, it's so nice to see your face back in town. Shade Tree Committee had a very lively meeting this morning. We tried to meet every other month, but I keep pulling Beth back in, and now we're meeting every month because we have lots to do. We're still fine tuning our tribute tree program and talking about expanding ways people can donate, because $500 for a tree might be out of reach for some people. So trying to think of how to scale down. Maybe there's a smaller tree you can buy, maybe just make a donation to Shade Tree. We really want to support our canopy and get that ball rolling, so stay tuned. We also are thinking ahead to Earth Day week already, and maybe trying to coordinate the borough giving a tree to the school for their 100th anniversary. So just planting that seed now. Oh, see what I did?
I like that.
Didn't even know I did that.
Let's see, all right.
And emergency services, fire department and EMS, each department had over 600 calls to date this year. So just want to.
This year?
This year,
2026?
yeah, it's crazy. They work really hard. I know I don't have to remind everyone that they're all volunteer. You might not always love the siren. I live across the street, so I'm like at ground zero. But they work incredibly hard. They are literally saving lives. They saved a dog over winter break from frozen ponds, so they're out there doing all kinds of things, so. Just always want to give them a shout out for what they do, so. That's my update.
All right, thank you. So the library board is meeting tomorrow and they will have their reorg meeting at that time. The rec committee is meeting next Monday on January 14th. So please get your events into me. I know you mentioned yours. If you have any dates you want to give me for anything, let me know.
What's the deadline, sir? Deadline?
Oh, it'll be a couple of months. So we'll
Okay,
just
okay.
start, yeah, I mean, we're just starting to.
And you'll send out a notice.
We always put it out, before the first event, which is generally around the Easter time. So
Okay.
it's the Easter egg hunt is generally one of the first events. So we have a little bit of time, but just start thinking about things you might want to have in it. The building committee, met fairly recently, started to work on, little things here around Borough Hall and, grant use, figuring out what we're gonna do with that as far as the playground, and other things that need to happen. DPW, had a tour, at their facility to let everybody see the condition it's in and the plans for what we hope to do, in the near future. And there'll be other dates available to attend if you weren't able to make them. And personnel committee has not met recently, and that's it.
Chris,
MJDOT hosted a strategic highway safety plan meeting in November. This was for emphasis areas team. One of the emphasis areas was safer speeds and safer people. The issue of policy came up in relation to this, and I asked, as I always do at these meetings, probably much to the annoyance of everyone around me, how small municipalities like ours are supposed to be upgrading our complete streets policy to the complete and green streets policy, which is a bit of a heavy lift. I'm happy to report that the New Jersey Department of Transportation Engineers seem to appreciate the struggle of municipalities like us with limited resources, and they said that they would review the current recommended policy in an effort to make it more accessible. So for the moment, I know I've been talking a lot about trying to pursue that here for us. I think it's best that we sort of hold off on pushing the complete and green streets policy and see what accommodations can be made to make it a less onerous process for us. Secondly, the Mercer County Vision Zero Steering Committee met in November as well. And we discussed policy recommendations and projects with planned safety improvements. One of the suggestions was to include a leading pedestrian interval on traffic signals in Mercer County on county roads. And since it was brought up, I said, can we have one at Broad and Greenwood? And since then, they have actually conducted traffic counts at Broad and Greenwood Avenue and produced a memo that they sent to Jerry. I really look forward to talking to them about this. In my opinion, this is a very promising memo, and their recommendations, I think, could bring a lot of important safety improvements here. So more hopefully on that to come soon. The end.
thank you. First, I'd be remiss not to thank and recognize, particularly, it's as if this is planned, and I assure you it was not, following, that note about our, the work that we're doing with the county, to recognize and thank County Commissioner Sam Frisbee for being here this evening. I know there's a lot of reorganizations to come to. We are the furthest from home base for sure, but so appreciative of everything that you do for us, Commissioner, as well as what the county does for this town. And I'll say transportation safety with the major county roads going right through the center of our town is job one, and I could not, back of all of us, again, could not have planned better, but to thank you and your team for working with us as you always do on things such important things for us here. As I noted earlier in the summary, that I'm looking forward to in the coming weeks, announce what our process is going to be to try to get additional engagement from our community this spring in advance of closing on the water sale, so we can have an understanding of the types of capital projects or uses of the funds, whether it be combinations of tax relief or investments in things in our community that our community is interested in. I'm very excited to get the ball rolling on that, particularly as the needs that we see unfortunately increase. There's been a lot of discussions about our park recently, and looking forward to particularly engaging those who have been instrumental in the constructions of our parks, re-engaging them and making sure that we cast a very wide net about what, if anything, happens to those amazing assets of this town. Jumping a little bit on something that Jerry our administrator will talk about, but I'm very excited and thankful of I'll open it back up. Of our everyone working on our website and communications. It's likely that in the next month or so that we'll be rolling out to council and perhaps then our committees previews and start getting people working on what things need to be updated and added to it. I got a little bit of a sneak peek, and I'm excited in seeing the changes and bringing this new tech forward. Along with that, the last couple social media posts have been using a new distribution system that will work with this new site. So I'm excited that that's line that will be able to transition the social media posts from the new site, which will also have email and I believe text alerts for those who are interested, which is quite exciting. As part of that, there's been some very good, I'll just say, helpful requests to perhaps put together a page on the site that explains the various capital projects that are either going on or that could be going on. So it's easy to find the plans and things like that. And I'm excited to get that on. If the new site honestly takes a few more months, I don't know that we'll wait. We'll just put it onto the current website as well. But again, really good suggestion from the public on having a spot for that to see plans and understand the history of some of the possible capital projects that are already in motion. Spent some time with our federal representatives on I'll call them grant opportunities, but we do always put our name in for federal and state appropriations, and I'm hopeful that we'll hit one someday, but we'll always try. Also met with representatives from all of our fellow sewer authority communities with the Stony Brook Millstone Sewer Authority, and ultimately there's a concern from the regulatory perspective in some new PFAS rules. That is something we're all concerned with from a health and safety perspective. There are new rules on the sewer end. We've always concerned ourselves with what comes in. The state is also concerned with what goes out as well, and some of them are challenging and quite expensive. So it was interesting to hear what the impacts of those things might be. I'll also note that we as a community are participants in several class action lawsuits to try to recover some of these PFAS contamination costs. And while we've received some payments already, we're expecting another one soon on one of the class action lawsuits. And I'll actually note it's not so new anymore, but our borough attorney and his firm, actually before even there are attorneys, were very helpful actually in getting us connected to the right parties to do that at no cost to us. So much appreciated to that. I also want to thank everyone who did come out, as Deb mentioned, in December for the DPW tour. She said we'll do more of those if you have a particular interest. It doesn't have to wait for a tour, but we want to have lots of opportunities for people to see the place, meet the team, and start to get an understanding of the types of things that might either be necessary or could be built there. This week, I have office hours on Wednesday, and then Saturday here at 9 a.m. I will have coffee both here in the building. I want to thank Councilwoman Hook in particular, and everyone from our community, and then Councilwoman Steeler and Councilman Fuller for joining us at what I'm really excited to be a new one of our many traditions, but to have done both a tree for the Christmas holidays and menorah for Hanukkah this year, as well as some other connections to holidays happening in December here at Borough Hall. Really appreciative of everyone's efforts there and thankful for the community who participated and was part of that. Things like that, we are always very receptive to. Our goal is to, just because we're not doing something or haven't in the past, it may just be that no one's thought of it. So if you have thoughts about ways that we can better connect or celebrate everything that's happening here, and that also I'll just note goes to proclamations. If someone is doing something really great in this community, there are some ways that we can help and celebrate them, and always willing to do that. Lastly, tomorrow evening, I'll just thank in advance, but our fire department will be having their reorganization, and be an honor to join them in the 2026 line officers on their promotion and designation. With that, I'll point it over to Jerry, and I'll note as I hand it over to you, I know we had an email from our planning board attorney about this week's meeting. Not to say you have it handy, but when you're done with your list, I have it printed out. Maybe Councilman Steeler could give an update on that, just kind of a public service announcement. So no need to hunt for it, but I'll just prefacing and talking to make sure everyone is prepared for that. I'm going to open up that message.
Thank you. You're first to recognize it.
Sure.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a few items tonight. The building committee met to discuss parks and recreation issues last week. We decided that, based on the number of grants that will be available, it probably wasn't in our best interest to rush any grants with the February deadline. The specific grants that are open now only really give you a short window, and the amount of public outreach is going to be necessary to get input related to the size and scope of the Borough Park project is not something we want to rush in a period of 3 or 4 weeks. That would require public hearing, community input, and surveys. So we just decided it would be best to hold off until the next round. In the meantime, we will begin to gauge public opinion. And with the $66,000 that we have at the moment, ready to spend, we thought it would be in the best interest to repivot that to the Borough Park and begin some of the soft costs that are going to be necessary to, get that project up and running. Because the $66,000 is not nearly enough to begin any hard work as far as buying equipment or doing any regrading that's necessary. So when we get to that point, that's where the public input is going to be. But we do need surveying and we do need flood delineation. So that's where we're going to use that $66,000 that we currently have for. We do officially now have a new domain name in our possession, that is hopewellboroughNJ.gov. No more dashes, no more .us, soon to come. I secured that. I will say I've done that process before in another community, and it's become significantly more efficient. And it only took a matter of a couple of weeks as opposed to a couple of months when I did it only maybe 3 or 4 years ago. So I'm pleased to announce that we have that. I'm working with IT to get the email addresses up and running. The transition for email will be seamless. It'll be, well, I was gonna say it'd be the same first, top, last name, but if you want to decide as a group to do first, you can change it any way you want. Your first initial, last name is probably more common and a lot easier, but that's up to you. We don't have to decide that right now. It'll be a simple, repointing, the old email addresses to the new one. Anybody who emails the old email address it'll automatically get sent to your new inbox. So in time, it will change from the public, but the emails will not be discontinued. People won't be getting emails back. So that's pretty exciting. And I know just in being here a few months, there's been plenty of times where people told me they got emails that get kicked back because they're all adopting the dashes. And then of course add my last name to that.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's something that's going to change. That's a pretty quick change, but I'm hoping to roll that out at the same time we are ready to roll out the new website, which I'm pleased to announce is, I would say, very close to being done. The mayor had suggested just previously that we would send that out to different committees and departments to let them look at their pages and offer insight. I spent a significant amount of time since the first draft was sent to me making changes. And, I'll just give you a very quick preview here, a 30-second preview. Just so you know, I know this picture is large. That will be shrunk down. It still is in draft form. And then as you go down here, you can just find the website as well. So I know Councilman Fuller asked about the Board of Health. not too long ago, and I'm sorry, I'm wearing glasses, tonight, not contacts, it's kind of blurry to me. I think that looks like health up there. So, we have we're already this far into it, we have data carried over, we have documents in there, links in there. So, it's, I'd say it's a work in progress, but it's very close to being complete. So I'll be sending that out to everybody, I'll be sending it out to the group, so you can offer some insight. I'm staying with the technology as it relates to getting public input. We talked about a new software that helps us gauge that in a scientific way and really goes a long way in ensuring the community can have input, not just on the aforementioned Borough Park project, but the various issues related to the capital funds that we're going to have as a result of the water sale and, what we're going to do with those funds. So that's a company called Flash Vote, and I'll be submitting a proposal for that. I'm still awaiting a formal proposal from them. But I'll be submitting hopefully something formal for approval in February for the council meeting. It's a low cost, all these new softwares, price wise, are scaled to the size of the community. Something I always used to complain about in larger communities, because the software is the same, whether I have 50,000 people or 1,900 people, but I'll take it now. So the other one on that front is Granicus Agenda Management Software, in talks.
Something we're going to move forward to modernize our systems with, modernize the creation of the agenda. And we will see a significant time reduction in what it takes to prepare that agenda. I suggested to the council in my memo to take a look at what one of the other cities in New York is doing, smaller towns like us, and how easy it is to find information, how easy it is to go into the archives to get information. And not only for us, but for the public as well. It's not easy for the public to find archival information, simply just by virtue of the fact that we're this other than I'm looking at 2 hours.
That's I'm just saying. Yeah, and thank you for all the work on the website. I know the communications committee got that rolling, and I'm just thrilled that you've taking it across the finish line. I will say one just suggesting when if we can change the email addresses as Jimes, Wallenia, Skiller, the spelling of the name. Personally, I like first names and a last initial, just throwing it out there. So, if your name is Kennedy or Fuller, you don't have this issue, but if your name is Jimes or Wallenia, you might, so.
I always have an alias where Jerry at whatever goes to whatever.
Well, so, yeah.
I mean, I see that. Yeah, no,
I just, food for thought there,
And apologies for those online. We're approaching the end of this, so I'm gonna leave it in the uncomfortable focused on me mode and then point it to Councilwoman Steeler for a second, because one last announcement. We just got something from our planning board attorney. There's a planning board meeting this Wednesday, and we got a couple questions about the agenda, and he provided an update. And Deb, you want to read that?
Sure. Okay, so apart from the general reorganization matters, the board is only scheduled to consider 2 certificates of appropriateness and undertake the completeness review / determination of 1 land use application. In connection with the latter land use application, this will be completeness only with a substantive hearing scheduled to commence at the board's meeting in February, assuming that the application is deemed complete for the purposes of board review at Wednesday's meeting. I will make a general announcement for the public's benefit prior to the start of this administrative process.
All right, thank you. So that's the planning board attorney with I guess an update about, so there is I understand there's a Hopewell 57 item on the agenda, but kind of a clarification about what's going to be happening.
So it's just, all that's happening is
To see whether
making it
it's
complete, and people should really pay attention to the February meeting, is the.
right, exactly, because it's mostly reorg with just an appropriateness. Yep.
So again, apologies for those online. I'll put it back to me here for a second. With that, anyone will open the final of our three options for public comment or questions. First for those in person, and then for those online. So if you'd like to speak online, feel free to start pushing your raised hand button. And if you're in the room, feel free to come up to the front. And actually, before you start, our camera is not working again, so I'm gonna make one more attempt to switch it over. And again, I apologize for the bated breath which everyone is waiting. 1 second here. Okay, I think we're back. So apologies. Feel free to start. If you just give your name, we don't need an address, and feel free to address the council and those online.
First, congratulations to Councilwoman Weaver on your election, Councilwoman Buda on your election, and Council President Steeler on your selection as Council President. It's hard to believe 31 years ago I sat in my first term, and then a couple of years later I served as Council President for a couple of months while the mayor was away. It was my one great regret I never married anybody. I didn't get the chance. I first want to say thank you to all you're doing. The last couple of months, it's been an incredible amount of action that's happening. I did have the opportunity to go to the open house in the Public Works, so thank you for that. Very instructive, very informative information on that. We look forward to the progress on that. As I mentioned during that tour, several neighbors nearby have concerns, in particular about the scaling, and in particular about the size of the buildings. And we'd love to talk with you further about that and find opportunities. Yes, we are the northern end of Mercer County, but I still think we're in God's country. I worked in Trenton, I lived in Trenton. I am thrilled to be in Hopewell, and I think anyone who comes to Hopewell would be thrilled to be in Hopewell also. It is a gem that we have. And so we need to pay attention and make sure that whatever facilities, services that we have, we respect our history, in particular, we project to the future. There's an economic value to doing things well and to doing them right. And I can't think of a better group of folks who are sitting on council today to do that. And so I'm thrilled to be able to see you all working and move forward on that. And I encourage folks from other municipalities in the county and our legislators to come to Hopewell more often. I don't see them enough, and I don't know about you folks, but if I ever had the chance and I was working in Trenton to come to Hopewell, I did. And I would encourage them to do that. And so when we improve the park, when we improve our public works buildings, and other work that we do, we need to always remember that what we're doing has an economic value. It brings people to town, it increases opportunities for economic development. It makes our quality of life better. And in particular, when we do it and do it well with materials, if we do it right the first time, the initial cost is not much more. In fact, sometimes it's less than if we did it. When I think in particular about the pump house, when I was on council, we improved that. We replaced a brick building with that beautiful wood structure that we have right now. And I have to believe, and I don't remember the exact numbers from that putting in wood is less expensive than putting in brick. So I think we even saved some money in the efforts, and no one can say it's not a beautiful structure. It's not a great welcome. And so we need to do that. The other thing I wanted to say is that I would encourage you all in this year of 2026 to be bold, to think creatively, to do things. Just because we're small doesn't mean we can't do things better than other folks going through. And I would like to encourage you to think about ways that we can actually break the mold and actually create opportunities to bring people in and to do things faster, more efficiently, more effectively, and more equitably than maybe we have done in the past. You'll have big decisions coming. Water, development, etc. I just encourage you again to, as mayor, you said, bring people in, encourage them to have that opportunity. I was incredibly pleased and proud of our town last year, how we navigated the discussion about water. I know it seemed a bit fractious in various folks, but believe me, I've seen a lot worse. And actually in this town, 30 years ago, we had to deal with development and open space. It was very difficult. So I encourage you to be bold. When we have opportunities for conversations, let's do that. And I know I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again. If the planning board doesn't have a development application, doesn't mean the meeting should be canceled. It's a planning board, not a site review or a development review committee. Take that time to actually have some planning. Take the time to discuss with the public, what's our future? Where do we want to be? And then the last point I'd like to make, and again, thank Councilwoman Weaver, all the work you've been doing on traffic calming and safety. Do that. Yes, I see things sometimes work, sometimes they don't. I was talking with Councilwoman Hook about this last month. The term is tactical urbanism. It's finding ways to make things work, and maybe using the materials, maybe it doesn't work right the first time, and maybe it's a better way. But I hope you're taking pictures and documenting what we're doing. When people knock over bollards, that means there's a problem. That doesn't mean there's a solution not to put up a bollard. And so I'm looking forward to the solutions that we have and finding ways that people can move forward. One very quick story. So 30, maybe 25 years ago, we ran Mayor's Institutes when I was at Regional Planning Association. We brought in Jan Gale to come speak. Jan is an architect and was the planner in Copenhagen. And Jan's idea was that there was too much parking and too many cars in Copenhagen. And so he said to his staff every day, take out 2 or 3 parking spaces. Put in a lawn chair, put in trees, put in tables. People started using them. And then all of a sudden they realized we've got a great town. And then created what we see as Copenhagen today, which is the most amazing place that can still move people and goods, but in ways that improve the quality of life and are better for public health. So I encourage you to be bold and think about these things and find those ways to make Hopewell better by doing small things and big things all together. And just to reiterate what David said, you have our support and we want to work with you on that. Thank you again.
Thank you, Tim. Commissioner, come on up.
So good evening, Commissioner Sam Frisbee. I just want to say congratulations to all who were sworn in tonight. I try to make this reorganization every year, and every year I get here about the same time. It's just one domino after the other. I did get married, and my wife was here a little bit early. So we just want to make sure that you always know that Hopewell Borough was always in our hearts. We want to make sure that we're always here. I think I don't know if it was the last reorg or the reorg before that, but Councilwoman Weaver and I, we were talking about the complete streets and safety on the streets. And I know that's an area for the county because we control county roads. That's been very important to us. So we passed the complete streets policy years ago. What we gave it to our engineers was that any street that we redo in the county, we need to relook at it and see if we can spend our money at the county to make those complete streets. So continue to work with us. We know that we're here for you. I love the fact that you guys have moved to .gov. Arthur's in the house. Always good to see you. But love the fact that you guys have moved to .gov. I know that that's one of the areas that our auditors have asked us to do because it's safer for the community, less scams. So continue the good work. I love what you're doing in the technology area. And I will just say, lastly, you guys might be small, but you guys are really mighty. You lead the way in many ways. High school friend of mine. It's funny, I didn't grow up in Mercer County. I grew up in Winslow Township in South Jersey. But high school buddy who ran track with me, we both ended up in Mercer County. So Kevin Cook is here in your town, and I'm in the city of Trenton. We found our way to the capital county, and you guys do great work here. And I always tell people, it's not the size of the dog in the fight, but the size of the fight in the dog. This particular borough has a whole lot of fight in it. So Continue the good work.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Anyone else in person before I do have one person raised hand. Ms. Cookman, I'm going to partially bring you over. Our video is not working tonight, so hopefully this will be successful. If you unmute yourself, I think we should be able to hear you. Fingers crossed.
Can you hear me? I unmuted.
We can. If you just, we don't need your address, but just give your name and the time is yours.
Melissa Cookman. Happy New Year, everyone. Deb and Ryan, thank you for addressing the planning board thing coming up. And I heard what you said, and I don't understand it. It was too many words for me, because the agenda for them just says that the applicant is requesting preliminary and final major site plan approval. Now, I know they would never get final site plan. I mean, I know that's wouldn't happen this week, but I don't really understand what all that means. So if you can break it down in simple language for me, I'd be most appreciative.
So I'll attempt in a very general sense, because just a reminder to you and everyone that on that particular project, I've recused myself, but that I don't think keeps me from perhaps explaining what the various concepts in the process mean.
Thank you.
So ultimately, the type of approval that sounds like they're requesting is, in some parts of the state, people obtain preliminary and final approval for site plans separately. In this part of New Jersey, oh dear. Hopefully, you can still
I can still hear you.
Melissa, while this reboots. If you can, maybe hit the thumbs up button while this reboots, but I think you can hear me from my microphone.
Definitely can hear you.
That will still work. What are the message that Deb read was from the board attorney, but listed in the agenda for Wednesday is essentially their application, but it contains many pieces. The first piece will be this week, which is just what's called completeness. And completeness is, did the applicant submit enough documents to be able to be heard by the board? And I understand from the board attorney that that is all they're going to do to determine whether there's enough, the paperwork that was submitted is sufficient to take jurisdiction, and that the actual hearing would occur at a later date. At the earliest would be at the February meeting. Hopefully that
Explains it. Right?
yes, and I want to make sure, Melissa, with apologies, I'm adjusting the audio here to make sure. Melissa, if you could say something, I just want to make sure that at least hear you while our
I can hear you.
System reboots.
I can hear you. I don't think you can hear me.
No, I'm sorry, we might have lost you.
You didn't, but
okay, all right, excellent. Melissa, I don't know.
I can.
If you have anything further, if that was your only question, I don't at the moment hear you, and I don't know if that's just a function of our system not working at the moment, or that you're completed. So if you run, I know you were texting me before, feel free to text me if, okay, thank you. I'll just for the record note that she texted me that was the conclusion of her question and comment. And I'm going to move you back to the regular room. Again, with apologies to those online or watching the video who are about to just see, oh, that's back. Again, apologies for the technical difficulties. We're going to take a look at this before our next meeting to see what's up with our camera while it keeps rebooting itself. With that, I don't see any further hands raised or anyone here in person. Going once, and then I'll take a motion to close this third portion of the public comment of the meeting.
A motion to close.
I'll take a second. All those in favor? All right. Next, I will take a motion to adjourn the meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Again, congratulations, Paul and Krista and Deb. And thank you, everyone here in person and watching online. Happy New Year, and looking forward to working with everyone on a great 2026.